Guys, grading has me depressed. PSA is expensive now. PSA is slower than they've ever been. So I have a stack of cards here ready to go to CSG, Certified Sports Guarantee, when they open their doors to collectors next month. But PSA slabs are still worth a lot of money, so not everything can go to CSG. In fact, most things are still probably going to go to PSA. So I have to be smart about what I send to CSG and why. That's the point of today's video. These cards are divided up into categories, and we're going to talk about why these cards in particular are going to go to CSG instead of to PSA. Agree with me or disagree with me? That's great. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you plan on using CSG in your own grading for your own sports cards. Stay tuned to the end of the video for the giveaway information and Firebox logo. Flames. All right, guys, let's get this started. Matt here, Firebox Cases, fireboxcases.com, at Firebox Cases on Twitter and Instagram. This is going to be a follow-up piece, sort of a companion video that goes along with a video I put. I'll put a link to it in the show notes, but it's a video that sort of discusses how I plan on using CSG, the new grading company that's going to launch next month, how I'm going to use them in my own collecting, in my own sales of sports cards. And so we're just going to go over a few piles. I outlined a few of the reasons why you might use CSG. So I have some piles here of stuff that I'm planning to send, and just to talk about why I'm going to send it, I think might be helpful for everyone. So the first pile is stuff that is like test stuff, okay? Any new grading company, it's going to be important you're never going to know what their standards are right off the bat. So not all of this stuff is necessarily terrific stuff, but it's got sort of exemplar kind of flaws, so that when it comes back, we can see what the subgrades say on those items, and we'll know for the future on if we're going to be able to gem stuff that have these same imperfections. And I'm going to try to show you close up when I can what I'm talking about. First one is a Trent Grisham Stadium Club Chrome X-Fractor. Let's see, are these numbered? I can't remember. Doesn't look like it's numbered. But this card has a chrome dimple. We're very familiar with that. I mean, to some degree, it has these patterned lines that don't stick out to me as being print lines, particularly in this actual card. But I know the PSA can get, I mean, depending on the grader that you get at PSA, they'll either see these lines as inherent to the design that the photo is being printed on, or they see them as imperfections. And in my opinion, they aren't imperfections. They're sort of intrinsic to the design. But that's not really why we're doing this card. It is sort of to a lesser extent. But the real reason we're doing this card is it has a chrome dimple right here. It's hard to see, like it always is, even on eBay or whatever when you're buying. But let's see if we can get a good look at it under the microscope. Where is it? Right there. So, and it's the only one. It's very clean other than that one dimple there. So we're going to see if we can get away with a gem with a single chrome dimple. Okay, it's going to be, I mean, obviously the sample size is not going to be big enough to draw a foolproof conclusion, but it'll be something, you know. It'll be something where you can at least break the tie in the future. If the card will be worth it, you know, if you happen to squeeze out a gem, is it going to be worth it? If you miss, is it still worth it? That kind of a thing. So we're going to check on a chrome dimple. That's the reason we're doing that one specifically. These Lonnie Walkers, there's a couple, I have 2 Lonnie Walker optic RCs here, and I can't remember. Okay, so this first one is, see that silver dot right there? That's different than a dimple. It's not a dimple in the chrome. It's where they just actually, and I've seen this, you know, quite a bit, where they have legit, where the printing of the photo just doesn't put the color down there. It's not a gash. The surface is perfectly smooth. It's just that the photo, for whatever reason, didn't print there, and it just is like a silver. It just goes down below to the chrome beneath or whatever it is. So it sticks out. It's not a dimple. It's not a scratch. It's just like an imperfection in the printing. So we're gonna check on that one if we can still gem a card. You know, if that gets a 9, then we know we can still gem a card. It's great condition other than that. So we're gonna know that we can still gem a card with that sort of a weird printing defect. Now this one, I believe, was a so you see that little black speck. Okay, this is another thing that sometimes happens. Little black speck right there. That's not on, okay, that's underneath the gloss, okay? If you know optic, you know how these cards work. You know there's like a glossy coating on the card. That's underneath the gloss. It's like a fiber of the paper, okay? So when they make the paper, they chop up they mince up a whole bunch of wood really fine, whatever, they press it. Sometimes some of those fibers are a little bit different color than the rest. For some reason, there's like a darker fiber there, and we're going to test to see if that affects the surface at all. Less egregious, in my opinion. Like some of those things that are you know, that stand out, but only because an unfixable element of the manufacturing process sort of made that happen. If it's me, I have leniency for, but we're going to see how CGC feels about it. This one, Brandon Ingram Select RC from 2016-17. So these are, you know, these are thicker chrome cards. It does not have the best corners. And let's see if I can show it here. They're not dinged, okay? But they are, when they were cut, okay, there you can see it. When it was cut, it pressed the chrome around the edge of the corner, okay? It's not a ding, but it's like, same thing on the other corner. I can get a better angle here. Same thing on the other corner. It like pressed it. I don't know if the blade wasn't sharp or whatever. It didn't go through clean, but it also pressed it down and created kind of like a wrap around the edge of the cardboard. So we're going to check on that too. Oh, it also has a similar surfacing. Those are 2 different subgroups, is surface. So this is another, like, this is even worse though. This is like a blue dot. It's not part of the wood fiber. But that again is underneath the gloss. There's no way to get that off. It's built in underneath the gloss of the card, so who knows what happens there. But that's a surface element. The other element that we're checking is corners, so we'll be able to tell a lot just from what the subs say on that card. That one I would not expect to gem, but sometimes you got to send something to learn what the standards are all about. A few different just base prisms here. The centering on prisms is obviously pretty bad in general, and sending prism to PSA is like hell on earth, because they're not giving many 10s away on prism these days. They're like extra hard on that. That's part of sort of one of the reasons I get frustrated with them, is that they're kind of gatekeepers of their own pop report. So, you know, stuff will be clean and they still won't gem it, because that's my feeling on it. You know, I don't have any proof about it, but it just seems like that's the way it is. But here we're testing centering. For my money, this card is left heavy. Still not terrible, because I can still see a third row of dots along the right side, except that the edge of the card is cutting those dots down the middle. So a little bit left heavy to me. So we're testing that one left heavy. This one's much better. This is a centered card to me, so that's kind of like a control card. I would expect that to gem. And this one, similar. I thought I had had one that went the other way. Now, that one is a little bit the other direction, but still, that's pretty centered. This one is kind of similar to the Kevin Porter Jr. So, just a few things, testing a little bit of centering there. Let's see. So that's kind of like, those are the ones that are purely being sent for, I want to gem. It would be awesome to gem all that stuff too. Not bad cards, but mostly those are being sent for a specific reason. Then we've got a stack of stuff here that is just like, I want to get it back in season. Okay, a lot of this stuff will gem at PSA. I think this PJ Washington would gem at PSA. Prism at PSA is anybody's guess, but I think that PJ Washington would gem at PSA. But he's playing well this season. I'd like it back. Cabrian Hayes, last year, this is a high number SP, by the way, from Heritage Miners. Cabrian Hayes, if he had played a full season last year, would probably have been the Rookie of the Year, high number SP. Nice cards. I like Heritage. I always do a lot of this base stuff from Heritage. Kalenic, want that back for the season, because he's definitely, I don't know, who's to say definitely, but everybody would tell you that Kalenic is coming up at some point this year. His minor league run has been sensational. All four of these are super clean, have a shot at a 10 or their perfect 10, or however they end up doing those perfect grades. But want them back for the season, but also so clean that I think they have a shot at that premium grade. Again, Alec Thomas, shot at being up this year, I think. Brandon Marsh, definitely a shot. A little more than a shot. He's almost, I would say, you're definitely seeing him this year in the major leagues. Wanted that back. Want Luis Robert back for the start of the year. Just pulled this the other night. This would probably PSA gem, but I don't want to pay extra premium to get it back in time. And so I want it back in time for the season. And even the 20-day, who knows if that makes it for the season. Soto update, but a debut update. So, a nice card, but nothing that's like urgent or anything like that. But I do want it back for the start of the season, because his stuff is going absolutely nuts right now. I want to capitalize on some of that. Nate Lowe, he got traded to the Rangers, I think. So he's going to be like their opening day first baseman, I think. So want to be ready if he should pop. And then J-Rod, of course, and the other thing is that this was already a PSA 9 once upon a time, but nothing wrong with it in my estimation. I don't know why it got a 9. So it will be tried again at CGC. And J-Rod is another one who's almost certainly coming back this year. A couple PC cards that will also be instructive. So this was previously a PSA 9. Nelson Cruz, Boomstick. I love Nelson Cruz. He's so awesome. Where would the Twins be these last couple of years without Cruz? They're no good anyway. They get bounced the first round of the playoffs every year anyway. But without Cruz, forget it. Don't know. Never found anything wrong with that. That's a Topps Chrome Sapphire to 25. Eddie Rosario, no longer a Twin, but still part of the PC. And I just cracked that out. That was a 9. Centering's so good, though. Don't really see anything majorly wrong with it. I would expect a card like that to gem at Beckett. We know what we know about the top graders, Andy Broom and Weston Reeves are the two head graders at CGC, and I believe that they come from a Beckett background. So if they're bringing like a Beckett-y standard to this, you'll have a little more wiggle room to gem up some of this stuff, I think. Because they have the computers doing the centering and some of the computer work doing the surface, maybe not. Their Pokemon grading is pretty strict. But we'll see how it shakes out when we get these cards back eventually. Again, Jorge Polanco, another twin, previously a PSA 9, a mega injustice as far as I'm concerned. This is the cleanest, one of the cleanest cards I've ever seen. And this Keone Cavaco is also a PC card, but this is also being sent for a reason, because these shimmer surfaces, kind of like that X-Fractor earlier, that Grisham, when the pattern repeats, okay, when the pattern repeats, you can see it right up here. When the pattern repeats, you get a line, okay, that you can see, but it's not a print line, okay, in my view. That's just intrinsic to the design, and you can see some of it up here when I move it through the glare, okay? It's like squares. You guys are probably familiar with it if you've done much with Bowman and these kinds of surfaces. But we're going to see what their grading computers think about that kind of surface as well. So that'll be instructive, as well as PC. What else did we have? Next is, I think I talked about just being first to market on some of this stuff. Now, CSG hasn't even launched yet, but a Prism Draft Picks basketball, even if they launch, middle next month, February, you should be able to get it back in time for the season, for one, and you should still be beating like the bulk PSA subbers on this stuff. Now, this isn't like, Prism Draft Picks is never that valuable compared to their professional regular Prism counterparts, but if it's still really low, if it's numbered, it can still go 20-day or call for a increased service. These are all like mostly retail color. So I don't want to pay extra fees on that. So Anthony Edwards, he's a Timberwolf, so that's good, but he's also the #1 pick. So a bunch of pink Anthony Edwards, be the first to market, hopefully with some graded cards. Pink Wiseman. This LaMelo Ball is just a base card, but it's super, super, super clean. I think I have a shot at a 10 on that, but we shall see. And this Wiseman silver again, just trying to get the cards before other people get the cards, and just see what happens. You never know what can happen when you're the first guy with the graded copies. And then my biggest stack by far is stuff that I would like gemmed up, but I just don't think is going to pass the test at PSA these days. In the old days, and when I say old days, I mean probably like a year ago, you could count on a few more 10s than you typically get now. Particularly basketball, they're extra tough on. So some of this stuff I just don't think is going to make it at PSA. So we'll have to try it at CGC. Michael Bridges, and this is top names mostly, but he's playing pretty well this year. A nice piece for the Suns, and that's a lime green to 75, so it's a nice card. Silver, Robert Williams. Wendell Carter Jr. die cut to, what's this, 249. This one also has this whitening up here at the top, so we'll see what the corner grade says on that. That'll be instructive as well. Shea Gilgeous Alexander. That's a nice card. Sekou Doumbouya. A cleaner than the one with the rounded, with the printing sort of pressed down corner. This is a cleaner one. So I would, I think that will gem more so than the other one. This is his whatever concourse level, like lowest level. The other one was his premier level. Paddocks. I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter. I post pretty frequently about my Paddock PC, which I take a lot of pride in. And dude gave up a lot of home runs this year, but he'll bounce back. I love the Sheriff. So these are just a couple that I don't think are going to make it at PSA. As I've sent, I don't know, like 40 Chris Paddock Topps Chrome Autos to PSA at this point, so I have a good idea of what is going to make it and what won't. Just a couple surface lines, nothing major. Hoping to sneak by at CSG. We shall see. This raw card review of Elvis Martinez, who's a guy I like, but again, I don't think it'll make it at PSA. you know, it already raw card reviewed in 9.5, so that's good. I'll probably send it like that. Not that they'll put any stock in it, but I do like the grader to be like, oh, huh, look at that. Miguel Vargas, I have a lot of his autos, and so this one is a little rough. The centering is just a little bit right heavy, so I'm hoping to sneak out. This will be instructive for centering too, probably, for our purposes, but hopefully I can sneak out a 9 centering here, and we can see. I kind of like to judge it by what letters I can see here in the chrome, and I prefer the C, H, and then the edge of the card to be right there on the H. And here we can see a little bit of the R, like a pretty decent portion of the R. So that's right heavy as far as 2020 Bowman is concerned. So hopefully we'll sneak one out there. Donovan Mitchell is really centered, so that's pretty good. Just a little bit of whitening. Maybe I use this again here. A little whitening. Just a little whitening on every corner. It's not egregious, just a touch on a couple. So we'll see if that can sneak a 9 corner out at CSG. And if that's, you know, if a card that's as good as this, like a Mitchell Shock, with just a little bit of corner wear, can gem. The most important thing is gemming, right? I mean, a lot of this stuff came from my old Beckett sub pile. Don't sub Beckett anymore. It's crazy. The wait time is just as long. It's super expensive. It's stupid. So that's where CSG, the way they've priced their product, it seems like that's what they want to try to just take over the space that used to be occupied by Beckett. And if they're going to do that, they're going to need to grade like it, I would say. So I'm hoping that that's what they're going to do, and we're going to gem that Donovan Mitchell up. And this is another one. Just has some corner wear. Very minimal. But anything hand numbered from Heritage is like just chef's kiss. I love that stuff. So that's it. That's a few of the stuff, a few of the piles of stuff and the reasoning behind what I am sending to CSG. Hopefully that's instructive. You know, and when I get that, when I finally sub it, I'll probably do another video even before I sub it. But when I sub it, I get it back. We'll obviously review the results of some of that stuff, and we'll have it documented here on YouTube, so we'll know, and we can draw some conclusions. Not perfect, of course. That's like an ever-evolving exploration of what their standards are all about. But it'll be at least a start to understanding what we're going to be able to gem at CSG, and hopefully it's all the stuff that we want to make nice. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Cruise over to CGC Graded Trading Cards, Buy, Sell, Trade. That's our Pokemon room, Pokemon and Magic the Gathering room on Facebook. Got a giveaway going right now. All you have to do is subscribe to this YouTube channel, be a member of the room, take a picture of your subscription, basically, of you being subscribed to this channel, and we are going to enter you into a drawing to win this Salamence Rainbow Rare VMAX. That will close on February 1st, close and run on February 1st. So you have some time to get over there, but don't wait. Do it now, and get started on your Pokemon collection at CGC as well. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like, leave a comment, and let me know what you're planning on doing with your CSG sub. See you later.